guys. You guys know me. My name is Ruben, and I will be discussing to you about abortion, which is the deliberate act. I mean, oh my God, I'm sorry. Can I start over? All right. All right. My name is Ruben, and I will be discussing to you about abortion, which is the deliberate termination of human pregnancy. And I think it's a practical solution for some of our nation's problems. My first supporting point is abortion can prevent our country from becoming overpopulated. The U.S. Census Bureau is the U.S. Census Bureau shows us the current population that we have every year. But just to show you how much we've increased over the past years, I will be showing you how much we've increased every 10 years from 1990 through 2010. In 1990, our population was an estimate of 249 million people, and later on over the years in 2000, we had 281. And in 2010, we had an estimate of 309 million people. As you can see, we've been increasing over every 10 years, so if we keep this up, we don't know how much resources we have left to sustain our society. And my second one is abortion is a solution for the low-income families. So the nation's poverty rate is, it's always increasing over time. So back then in 2005, 12.6% of the people who lived in this country were living in poverty, and then later on in 2008, 13.2% were living in poverty. And 13.2% is equivalent to around 40 million people. So finally, in 2012, there was more than 16%, which is 48 or more million people, which is also including more than 20% or almost 20% of the children in this country. Rebecca Wind published an article explaining how most women groups, may have been decreasing abortion, but low-income women have not. New Gut Matcher research explains how abortion rates have decreased between 2000 to 2008, but however, low-income women have been increasing and are responsible for 42% of abortions in 2008. Many women choose abortion because they don't have the financial resources to support a child. A September 2005 survey called Perspectives on Sexual and Reproductive Health asked women why they received abortions. 73% of the women that took the survey said that they couldn't afford a baby due to financial reasons. And abortion is an option if the baby is unwanted by the couple. There are times that they're unwanted. They're unintended. 49% of all pregnancies among American women are unintended. Abortions may prevent that, and this may resolve the number of orphans without parents that live on the streets or in orphanages. Perspectives on Sexual and Reproductive Health surveyed women why they received abortions. While 73% of them said it was due to financial reasons, the remaining 27 of them said that giving birth would prevent them from continuing their education or career goals. And so in conclusion, abortions could help our country's problems decrease by having a stable population, help the low-income families get a little bit of help to get with society, and give the women to continue their education if they wanted to. That's it.
I'm mostly worried about the camera.
All right.
All right, Scooter, you ID'd the topic right at the beginning. That's fine. I don't know why you need to start again, because you basically said the same sentence just a second time. So it was pretty clear the first time. You state your claim. It's kind of stated in a passive way, and I think you need to be a little bit more assertive about identifying it as the proposition. There's no layout of the secondary claims. You just start right in on the first supporting claim. However, it is clearly labeled, so that helps a little bit. Also, there's a second point that you clearly labeled too, but the transition between the first and second points was also pretty abrupt. So I think you need to work a little bit on language and transitions, finish up with some internal summary on the first idea, and then move to the second idea. That would help make the flow of your argument a little bit clearer. You've got a lot of statistical information that you present. Most of it has to do with poverty and birth rates, and I thought that all that information was pretty well cited. The question is it related to the inference that you're making? If for instance, abortion is already available and we already have high levels of poverty, how is it preventing poverty? It's not quite clear to me. The same thing is true with the population. If the population is increasing substantially over the years and we already have abortion, it seems like your argument seems to suggest that it would increase more if we didn't have abortions, but that's not the way you phrased the claim, and that requires a different kind of proof than you have here. So you were kind of taking a passive idea that suggests that this is having an effect, and that the only reason that we don't have more poor people or more people in general is because we have abortion. I don't remember hearing any statistics about the number of abortions that are being performed each year, the number of abortions that have been performed over the past 10 or 15 years, and that would be critical for the argument that you're making, suggesting that access to abortion is having that kind of impact. Obviously, let's face it, I don't want to make an ethical argument on this, but if the question is just eliminating people solves our problems, why not eliminate other people too? There's obviously a reason that abortion is seen as being appropriate because of the relationship to the woman and her ability to choose and her body, those sorts of things, and you don't really get into that discussion. The controversy on this issue is largely outside, for people who argue about this, is largely outside of the argument that you're talking about. Some people make the argument that it would be good for society, but the more particular argument is the harm that occurs to individual women, and that's where we need to see more information. You had some statistical information that talked about the number of women who say it would be a economic harm on them, but they're already in economically dire straits because most of the women who are getting abortions, as you said, are already in poverty. The other information says that it would be an impact, women say it would be an impact on their education and career decisions, but that's a survey on that information. It would be useful to have some information that shows, for instance, that women who do give birth in unintended pregnancies outside of marriage have less chance of graduating from high school or getting a successful job. All of that, I'm sure, is not that hard to find information on. So that's the kind of stuff that I think you needed on that particular point. All right, you seem a little uncertain as you're speaking. I think you need to develop a little bit more confidence and be certain of your points. And, of course, we did get our first Porky Pig exit.